Yes, Bridget.
I guess I just have a comment as a parent, and without getting into first, I have a 9th grader now. As we went through preschool and elementary schools and even middle school, there were accommodations, there were modifications, there was help. I have a 9th grader now that I just had to put into an AOD because I don't have any other options, and because I can't get an IEP or any more help from these people in order to, have this child graduate with a diploma. So I guess it's a comment. I didn't realize myself that you had some help when it was elementary, and you had some help and some accommodations or some modifications in middle school, but when they get in 9th grade, that all goes away, or that's what I'm finding. And I'm really upset about that because it was like I was in the dark for all of these years thinking I had all this help and that this was going to continue. And in 9th grade, I'm told it's standards, we can't change them, it is what it is. So I guess I wish I had known that. You're telling me that's not true. I'm just
I have a lot of questions about that myself. My greatest question, of course, number one, if you would, Dr. Price, I really appreciate this. Looks great. My question, first of all, what special ed parent groups did you talk with when you created these goals?
We vetted it through any group. We put it out on the website. We asked for input. This tonight is a way for us to do that. This is not we haven't finished. It's a work in progress. So this tonight is one of those.
Because one of the things that I'm Barbara Calvin.
Sure.
I'm president of the Community Outreach Special Education PTA and chair of the State of Alabama PTA Except Child Committee. One of the things I keep running into is kind of what she's saying. Parents placed in a position of policing special education. That is our greatest problem. That is how will this address those issues. When you're working, as you know, with a school and you have to have a relationship with your child's teacher, principal, and so forth, when you're placed in a position of policing, that runs completely counter to the relationship. Whose job is it, sir, if you would, to make sure that schools, systems, and so forth follow children's IEPs?
Well, I think there's several levels to that. Number one, it would be the classroom teacher, who's the case manager for that. Every teacher has a principal that oversees that school. Every school system has a superintendent. And then ultimately it ends up on my plate. So I'm ultimately responsible if that's not happening and more than willing to own that. I would say that there are some steps in between, not as an excuse, but I think we need to drill home before we jump to the ultimate conclusion there that it's not getting done is, when's the last time that special education received any state funding to supplement the federal funding that we already know isn't sufficient to support special education in this state? So many times, and having been a local superintendent, I was fortunate that I lived in a community that had local support, local funding to help support. Over half of our schools in the state of Alabama have zero local funding to supplement their state or federal funding. So I would challenge your legislature to think of what could a new funding formula look like that could have some differential funding for special needs students, kids of poverty, kids that may need supplemental help that currently isn't there. And then when that's not there and we're not getting the job done, I'd have a bigger issue with it.
But with that, and because as a parent, you're always hearing what we get is not necessarily what the truth is. We get after you talk to the superintendents, who talk to them, who talk to them, who talk to them, and then we get it. Is there some methodology, some communication opportunity for parents to hear the word from you as opposed to through our school districts so that we know, so that we are truly partners under IDEA, so that we get the same information that you're giving the special education superintendents and people in the state?
What I gave you tonight is exactly what I've told the superintendents and the special ed coordinators.
Can we keep that conversation going?
Whenever you can get 3 people together as a group, I'll show up. Yes?
Tara, I just wanted to share with that dialogue because I know that parents feel that way, trying to teach the teachers right now that they are using Common Core standards now for their special ed students and not special ed standards, and trying to teach them how they get there. That's tough. And trying to teach them how to build in, if the child has deficits, what deficits they need to teach the child to reach that core standard. I mean, some of the second grade core standards are very difficult when a child has been had extended standards before. So I know as a college trainer, I want to continue to be part of that discussion too, so that I make sure that I'm staying up to date and getting, because I've just been pulling things off the web and reading them and trying to, and passing them on, and I've been passing them on to the dean and my supervisors. This would be a great way if we could have some teleconferences, or I don't know, I'm sure you can come up with something wonderful, but I know we need help. And when you teach a class that involves all low incidences or all high incidences,
We need the information, the parents need the information, the educators need the information. We need more.
because I think often the parents are just behind on the information as well. I'm sorry, I'm taking so much time.
And thank you for the microphone. I get so excited about telling people where they can give input and how they can share. There's this wonderful thing called the Special Education Advisory Panel. It meets twice a year. And I encourage you to take the time. You can even attend over the internet now. And if you will look at either COSEPTA's website, which is cosepta.org, or the Alabama School Connection, or get on the mailing list to get news releases from the Alabama State Department of Education, you will learn when those opportunities are. And I believe that this is a conversation, and I trust that Dr. Weiss really does want to continue this dialogue. I wish we had 3 hours, but I'm going to ask Dr. Weiss maybe one more question, and then I'd like to. We're going to have to wrap it up because people have homes to go to, including you. One more question.